What do you think about especially, and that's why I like the song with you and Dirk, right? Because Dirk's movement recently has been like, yo, listen, we've been through a lot. I'm not gonna keep pushing war, and I was thinking, I was like, damn, don't tell me Dirk about to start rapping like on some We Are the World because people like that spicy talk, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then on the record now, he talking that shit. You know what I'm saying? He's still talking that shit, but he don't gotta diss maybe somebody who died, right? Yeah. Or he ain't gotta like, oh now fuck these niggas, you gonna do this to them, but he's still talking spicy. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I thought it was a great balance. What you think about even that type of maturation and making the music? You've never really done that where like you're like dissing the dead or whatever the case is, but still being within your element, but maturing your thoughts and how you deliver those type of subject matter.
Yeah, I wouldn't, like, the way I see that, like, I wouldn't want to be 30 still rapping about, like, clapping a nigga or, like, I definitely want to grow with my music, like, and change the narrative. Like, me personally, I know it's different strokes for different folks, like, you can't really expect a person to see shit differently a lot of times, no matter how much success they acquire. Cause like where we come from, it's a nigga on the block. He 40, he's still in this shit. Like that's the mentality. It's hard to escape that mentality, no matter what you got going on. So, like I know me personally, and just dealing with life and being on both sides of it. Like struggle, hardship, being in the trenches, and then living this way, it definitely opened my eyes to like not wanting to rap a certain way the older I get.
Why that title, Hood Poet? And why even go towards poetry? Like I've always thought some of the most prolific people who deliver, like, I always looked at Tupac as like someone who was very poetic and prophetic, and his music was just layered with not only sounding good, but it had messages that really inspired people and really stood for something, right? Why did you name your album that?
The craziest thing, actually, I ain't tell nobody this on the interview yet, but the craziest thing, I got that out of my comments. Like 3 years ago, somebody like Polo, really the hood poet, and I pinned it on one of my pictures. And like I kept that in mind. And working on a project with Southside, he was saying that I should come up with like some type of acronym meaning for my project, and that's where it came. Like I thought back on Hood Poet, and I feel like it definitely reflect like how I rap, like my music, like it's very close to like how poetry would sound. Just and I did poetry before, like
really,
yeah. Like when I was in high school, I was in a English class that my teacher wanted me to do poetry. I did this competition called Louder Than a Bomb. Chance the Rapper did poems and shit up in there. I think he still worked with the company and shit, but I definitely fucked with it like back in the day.
I didn't know that about you. Yeah. I would think that you were, just from your personality, just even what you said, I would think you were a little bit more standoffish. Like, like you're not the person they're gonna call to come speak in front of the class. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, poetry is a way to express yourself. Yeah. Have you found it easier to maybe put your thoughts and feelings, or just generally just communicate that way rather than like say an interview? Because I think you well, obviously it's your job, but you communicate better in music than just sitting here talking to me. Yeah. Is that just easier and natural for you?
I don't know what it is. I think it's like the beats or something, or being in that type of space and owning it is like your place to vent. Cause I like always explain how I'm feeling better through music for some reason. Like I'm telling you, I'm struggling with a therapist, like communicating with them and explaining shit to them, but it's always easier on the beat for some reason. I don't really know. I can't tell you why.
Do you ever look at numbers and care about numbers? I feel like we're still kind of in the numbers era where people, they want to compare you to your last numbers, right? And it's like first week sales. Even though I think we kind of have to grow out of that because there's always going to be a number metric, but I think first week sales doesn't say the correct thing when, we should know how many people are listening to you in that first week. how many streams, you know what I mean, even though they try to equivalate it, whatever. But do you care about numbers?
Early on, I wouldn't even say early on, because like for a long time I ain't care about shit to do with rap. Not in the sense I'm like I don't know what I'm trying to say, like I'm above all this shit. Like I just genuinely didn't care. I was rapping because I love music and shit like that. But it's constantly accomplishing so much. You start to look at the shit when you getting hip to it. Like before I was rapping, I didn't never know what no platinum or song gold. I didn't know what Billboard. I didn't know none of that shit. So like progressing through my career and figuring a lot of this shit out, it did start training my mind to be like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, because I know what I accomplished in the past. But being 3 years away from my last project, I really start straying away from even caring about that shit, because you would drive yourself crazy trying to, oh, I don't want to drop this week because this nigga might be dropping or this shit going on.
Like, a lot of people play that game a lot, right?
Yeah, that shit get crazy.
Yeah, nah, it's probably, you know, I think a lot of artists use that and they get it in their own way, right? When your fans, like, you know, especially if you haven't dropped for 3 years, they just want some shit from you, right? They want some shit. And also, you're one of those artists that you last a long time on the charts. So, like, I'll look up and I don't, sometimes I'll see some random page, maybe rap updates or some post, they'd be like, yo, rap star is this amount of time platinum or this time, you know what I mean? And that'll surprise me, because usually people think about hip hop songs as burnout songs. Like they hot real quick, they hit the club and then people need new songs. Would you ever do a collab album?
Yeah, I'll be talking to TJ about it.
I was just about to say that.
I'll be talking to TJ about it. Me and Swerve be talking about that too. It's like I got so many ideas and projects. Well, I wouldn't even say projects specifically, but so much music in the tuck that's worth a number of projects. So I definitely always think about doing a collab album with another artist, but I'm just trying to find the right time.
Yeah, I think either or would actually go up. You know, obviously you and TJ, and definitely if you did something with Swerve, that would be great. Who do you feel like you have the most natural synergy with?
It's a tie almost, but I really lean more towards the side of her, because a lot of times I could be in a stew with TJ and we really just kicking it. Like we don't never even get around to making the music.
What's that connection there? You know, obviously y'all people know y'all did Pop Out together. That's one of the biggest songs that kind of catapult you both into like a different dimension. But what's that dynamic between y'all relationship?
We homies, you know. That's my dog, you know. He support me, I support him every step of the way. We came in this shit together, so that's why we always gonna be tight, you know. Like I really fuck with TJ though.